has no signal? That can't be right. That can't be right. Why are there so many technical issues? Okay, let me copy the link. Let me post it in the server and make sure that my mic is working. There's no reason that it should not be working. It hasn't come up with another error. So I'm hoping that it will be fine. Hello. Is the mic working? Can you hear me okay? Okay, perfect. What an interesting Ron emoji. I like it. Okay, same as last stream, ban on site. I'm not putting up with any bullshit. Thank you. Okay, disclaimers in the description. But as always, I'm going to read it out. Please be careful when viewing this. This contains mentions of death, suicide, doxing, fake-claiming, harassment, trauma, sexual abuse, slurs, sexual themes, trafficking, etc. We will be referring to this person as Patterson and using they-them pronouns to prevent claims of deadnaming and misgendering. We do not know the name nor pronouns they currently go by. Any deadnaming or misgendering is not intentional and not done out of malice. Any documents, messages, etc. will be read as they are written, but any of our own commentary will use Patterson and they-them pronouns. Please do not attack, harass, or seek out anyone mentioned here. This is in no way, shape, or form meant to be a personal attack or harassment campaign. There's only been one narrative out in the public, and that has been Patterson and Co.'s. Now that we are in a much better mental space and a much safer environment, it's time to tell our side. We do not support anyone using this as a reason to go out and attack anyone, especially in our name. Do not try to dig for more information about these people, including but not limited to phone numbers, relative contact info, etc. The claims against us are abhorrent and false. We will be showing evidence wherever possible. This includes videos, screenshots, comment logs, chat logs, voicemails, audio recordings, etc. Anything redacted will be explained for full transparency. Most things shown will have no redactions. This includes videos, voices, faces, chat logs, etc. This is for full transparency. If the people involved in these did not want this to be shown, they should have shown everything to begin with, instead of spreading lies and conspiracies without proof. None of these streams are scripted. Beyond this beginning disclaimer, this document is for our own organization to sort evidence and stay on track. These streams are unedited. You may see us switch, dissociate, cry, become triggered, have flashbacks, etc. We will do our best to give trigger warnings where applicable, but we cannot guarantee anything. From this point on, please be responsible for and aware of your own triggers. This channel and these streams are not for children. If you are under the age of 18, please leave the page. So, Echo spent last night redacting phone numbers from texts and phone logs. Not all of the number, because we feel that it's important to point out where the same number was calling and texting us. The only phone numbers that have not been redacted is that the only one? Okay, we think that the only phone number that has not been redacted at all is for a public business. You would be able to find the number anyway if you searched it up online. That is the only phone number we think that has not been redacted. And I did add the texts from the other nights. I don't know why these are in the phone law. I don't know why these phone laws are in the text portion, so I will scroll past that for now. I will go back to it. So this was from February 4th of this year. If we had not received these texts and the calls this year, we would probably not be here talking about this. So, phone number starts with 7, ends in 87. And it says, "You are hereby notified with a cease and desist. I am contacting you under legal advice. You are pretending to be someone else. It takes courage to call you and ask you to knock it off civilly. I've taken the evidence required that you are actually Miss Granatella." You will be hearing from our lawyer soon. In the meantime, cease and desist before matters worsen on your end. This is not a threat. This is a matter of fact that you are digging yourself a deep hole you cannot climb out of using lies this time. Additionally, all your threats have been documented. I'm pretty sure this rings a bell or two. You don't get to pretend to be someone else just because you are faced with a legal representative. That's borderline illegal. Additionally, abusing and lying to the court systems is a crime in of itself. Cease and desist all harassment and stalking. You are only making it worse for yourself. Thanks. Signed, Fern. Not only is that ridiculous, first off, but have you considered the fact that you should not be trying to contact us anyway? When we get to the part, the stream with the court documents and the restraining order, it will show Very funny, I must admit. Very funny. But we will show how, because they tried to take us back to court to either dissolve our restraining order on them or get their own against us, ours was extended from that date. So no, it did not expire in December. It expires in September of this year. So that is already an issue. You should not be trying to contact us at all. Okay, this is from a phone number starting with 3 ending in 95. So I'm going to be reading from the right side screenshot, but it is the same message as the left side, it's just the full message. So this was sent February 4th. Kira, I am writing to formally notify you that the actions you have been taking against Rocky/Airy are illegal. Please consider this communication a warning to cease and desist immediately. If these actions continue, I will have no choice but to pursue legal action. I want to make it clear that I am serious in my intent. Any further attempts to dox, contact, or cause harm to Rocky/Airy in any capacity will be documented and referred to my legal representation. Thank you for your immediate attention to this matter. I expect full cooperation moving forward. So not only is this the second number that contacted us on February 4th of this year, but it is with the same threats of legal action. That was 410. So that was 410. This was not even an hour later that the other phone number contacted us. Same day. So we responded saying, sorry, I think you have the wrong number. Their response is, no, I don't think so. Nice try, though. We responded saying, I'm unsure whom you're trying to reach, but I don't know who any of those are. I hope it gets solved, though. Their response was, you know exactly who I'm trying to reach. The only way this gets solved is if you stop. Otherwise, I'm bound to take legal action. Again, we said, I'm sorry, I hope you can find the right number. The response is, please stop acting dumb. I know exactly who you are. If you are not willing to cooperate, I will pursue legal action. I want to point out, the only person who has ever threatened legal action against us has been Patterson. Are you noticing a pattern with the calls and the texts, and even Patterson's own stream? Which, now that I bring it up, I do want to address something, because now there are claims that we are abusing our tortoises, and not only that, but sexually abusing our tortoises. Are you fucking kidding me? You have to be a very sick individual to even think that we are doing that to them. And you are saying this to us, and we have been through animal child sexual abuse. The fact that you are thinking that after we brought up the Harkness test, which, for those of you who don't know, The Harkness test states that if you were to be intimately involved with something other than a human, there are 3 rules that you must follow. If any of the questions are answered with no, immediate off limits. So the first point is that it has to be of maturity for whatever species it is. The second is that it has to have human level intelligence. And the third, I believe, is that it needs to be able to communicate. If any of those are a no, do not even think about it that way. Our drawings have always passed the Harkness test. Our tortoises do not even come close. Anyone who makes claims like that will be blocked immediately. Not only that, but Patterson and their group have made claims that we are neglecting our tortoises because their species likes to climb and dig, and their fiancé equated it to a bunny screaming, which there is no comparison. They are not even close to the same species. One is a mammal and one is a reptile. Russian tortoises, like the kind we have, are very well known for liking to climb and dig. They are naturally curious. Their enclosures are made of, the walls are made of wood, and the bottom is made of plastic, which is why it is so loud, especially because they have claws. It's not like a bunny paw. Obviously, if they are trying to climb, you are going to be able to hear that. Use some common sense. You know nothing about us or our tortoises, or tortoises in general, apparently, because you're making wild accusations without understanding that this is what they do. We have had them for over 12 years now. I think we know them better than you. Okay. That's all I wanted to say on that. I will not be addressing that again. If it comes up again, I will just point to this stream, because it is ridiculous and disgusting. So going back to this, We responded with, "I'm sorry, I'm not appreciating the hostility. I don't know who you are or any of the people you have mentioned. Please stop contacting me with this." They respond saying, "You are leaving me no choice to pursue legal action. You will be hearing from my lawyer soon. Have a great day." And we respond with, "I hope you find the right person." And then 8 days later, February 12th, they say, I'm going to read it from here again because it is a longer message, but it is the same as here. "Kira Granatella, first, I need you to not act dumb. Second, I need you to stop harassing my friend. You know exactly who I'm talking about. You are hereby formally warned that my lawyers are building a case against you and the crimes that you've committed thus far. All the communication you've attempted to Kyoko is documented. All the attempts to dox them have been documented. Please be warned that I am very serious and a legal case has been raised against you." And we just responded with, "I'm sorry, you have the wrong number." Really? If there is actually a legal case with lawyers involved, and there's a case being built against us, the first thing those lawyers would do is tell you to cease all forms of contact. Do not contact whoever you are building a case against, because that can be seen as harassment, and that will go against you. Okay, here is from another number, and this was December 1st of 2021. And this is how long? I don't know exactly how long without the paper in front of me. But it was in the same month that we later got a restraining order. So it says, "Please cease and desist contact and harassment. Dispatch from the victim's area may not have jurisdiction to press charges, but Milwaukee Dispatch sure do. Step down from the situation and halt. Do not attempt to hide evidence any further." This may sound familiar. That is because this was put into some sort of text-to-speech reader and sent to us as a voicemail as well, which we played previously. So then they send us some of our basic information, I assume as a scare tactic. So they have our name, our age at the time, our date of birth, and then falsely assuming that we were in that city, in that state at that time. We were in that state, just not in that city, and we are not in that state anymore. And says, "Assigned female at birth, was admitted to Rogers Behavioral Health September 2nd of 2021. I don't know why that is relevant. Lured your victim in by trying to relate yourself to them. Trapped your victim by attempting to separate them from their friends, including gaslighting the matter of things. I don't even know what that means. That wording is horrible. Pressured your victim into sending nudes because you knew they had an intense fear of abandonment and had issues saying no due to said fear. You have used things your victim trusted you with against them. You have taken their weaknesses and vulnerabilities and lunged yourself at them ruthlessly and ceaselessly. You have also recently sexually harassed some people despite them setting clear boundaries with you. Again, there was never any proof of that. There still has been no proof of that shown. If it is referring to the conversation with someone who Patterson has already named in texts that will be read through in this section. If it is about Gaia, Gaia, I think. If it is about them, we had already talked about that and worked things out and apologized to each other for that because it was a misunderstanding. Don't bring that up. They made multiple attempts to tell you to back down, to which you did not. On top of all this, you have stalked and harassed this person through their private Facebook accounts. You have attempted to contact and harass their family members via Facebook. We have already gone over the Facebook allegations. We have not had Facebook since 2020. We didn't meet Patterson until 2021. There has also been no proof of this supposed harassment and stalking on Facebook because it never happened. If there was proof of it, it would have been shown in 2021 or even in 2022. It is 2026 now. No proof has ever been shown. I also want to address the intimate pictures very quickly. Those were sent by both Drew, who was the host at the time in our system, and Patterson, in a Discord server that Patterson owned. I don't know if they have deleted that server, but that is where they were sent, and Drew sent them first, and even said, only if you are comfortable. So no, there was no pressure, and we don't have access to those. Okay, here is our text between us and Patterson. It started Saturday, July 17th of 2021. Drew says, yo. Patterson says, hi. July 31st is when it picks up again. Drew says, hi, sorry I'm back. I hope you're doing okay. Patterson says, hey, welcome back. Are you okay? And I'm okay. My eyes are dryish and my mouth is dry. Drew says, I'm sorry. I hope you feel better. Yeah, I'm okay. Patterson says, thank you, and that's good. And then it picks up again in September 2nd, 2021, where Patterson says, hey, is Drew available? Drew? Hey, Drew, you there? At all? I. Drew responds, this was sent at 3 in the morning first, by the way. So Drew responds at 7:44 saying, sorry, I'm here. And then September 12th, 2021, Patterson says, okay, let's try text then, shall we? Andrew responds with Kyo. And then September 14th, 2021. The guy I fell in love with was not and will never be you. You displayed a fake-ass sugar-coated outside to lure me in, and now you've shown your true colors. That was copy-pasted multiple times. And then they switch it up a bit and say, how does it feel when I stoop to your fucking level and throw the same petty insults you've blindly thrown at me? It doesn't feel good, does it? And that was also copy-pasted multiple times. So this was less than a week ago. First, there is this 92 number, and this is an outright threat, first of all, because Patterson likes to claim that we are pulling in and dragging in people to the situation. And then they make a threat like this. So they say, keep fucking pushing it. The victim you doxed gave me your friend's info. Keep fucking pushing it, and I'll drag them and everyone else you know into this. Make you regret this. And then, I love the slut shaming. Is that because we've done sex work in the past? Which, that point will be brought up later, don't worry. And then this 48 number. I'm going to just read this out. It's trigger warning for self-harm and suicide. I will not shy away from repeating what we said to this person. Because we did say this. We did. And we do not regret it or take it back. Because after we posed a hypothetical, because they had said that they prioritized feeding their cat over themselves, we posed a hypothetical saying that if something were to happen where they needed to go to a vet, then they wouldn't have the money to do so. That isn't... It was a hypothetical. It wasn't us shaming them for being low income. It was us posing a hypothetical. So, this number sends us direct quotes from that conversation. Direct quotes that we said to this person. So this number sends them and says, you're a fucking bitch. I hope you do go through with fucking killing yourself. Genuinely slit your fucking wrists because nobody except your girlfriend who you'll never fucking meet gives a shit about you. Jump already. Your dad's been waiting for you to do it for years now. And then the number continues. But I want to make very clear that after we pose that hypothetical question, their response was to pull one of our friends into it that had nothing to do with it and say that the death of their cat was their fault. They said that in response to a hypothetical. So, yes, we did say that to them, because at that point the gloves were off. We take accountability for it, we do not regret it, and we will not apologize for it. And our friends know that we never say that to anyone. We don't even make jokes like that. Our friends in the server make jokes like that all the time, especially on voice call, which we have no issue with. We have no issue with that because it is jokes and it is meant lightheartedly. It's not meant seriously. But they know that we do not partake in that. We do not repeat that. We do not say things like that lightly. So it's not something that we go around saying to everyone who upsets us. This was a one-time situation. But yes, we will take accountability for it, and we will own up to that, because we did say it. We aren't going to shy away from these things. We have always said that. But I hope that by us explaining what led up to that, it can help people understand more of why we said that. You can come after us all you want, but do not drag our friends into it. Especially going after things that you know are sensitive topics like that. So this number continues and says, you said this to someone that was suicidal. You abused them, not the other way around. You shat on them for being low income, F slur, which we say the F slur to our friends, especially in voice call, all the time. I'm not going to say it on here. Your friends are enablers, fat ass. You're going to court soon. You're done. You're digging yourself the deepest hole. 2 slurs put together. Also, go ahead and call me your abuser. All it does is incriminate you. You mean you're scared, fat fuck. Stop insulting the artist who made that rig, fatty. Something that I want to point out quickly. Hold on. I need to know if I can say something. Okay, I was given permission to say this. The person that we said this to shamed us for the sexual abuse that we had experienced and made jokes about us spreading our legs for older people before we hit double digits. I don't think I knew that before. But no, now I especially do not regret what we said to them. But something that I quickly want to point out is one, again with the threats of court, which the only person who has ever the text or what was said about us. Which are you referring to? The texts are definitely. This was said the 13th. But the only person who has ever threatened us with court has been Patterson. No one else ever has. So that's one thing. And then the second thing, one of our friends was recording Patterson's live stream where they were screaming and yelling slurs and called the police on stream. And we had recently listened to that call, I believe a couple days ago, on call with our friends. Do you know what Patterson kept calling us? Patterson kept calling us fat ass. What is this person who texted us calling us? Fat ass. So the insults line up, the threats of court line up. Calling our friends enablers lines up too, because you also called our friends enablers. You also said that we were not trafficked and that Mormons are not traffickers, just like the person who texted us. Do you see where I'm going with this? Because they too, in the texts, said that we were insulting the artist who made the VTuber. And Patterson, during that live, also said that we were insulting the artist who made the VTuber. Do you see where I'm going with this? Is it starting to add up for anyone else? Because there seems to be too many coincidences for it to all be a coincidence. So then they say you were never trafficked. Mormons are not traffickers, which we never claimed that they were. We made a joke that we were being called by Mormons because the number that kept calling us over and over and over was from Utah. It was a joke. We never called them traffickers. So don't put words in our mouth. Neither are FLDS, which I don't know what that is. They keep it in the family. Go ahead and keep calling me shithead, but I'm not them. They are live. Dumbass slur. Again, a word that Patterson uses. They say it a few times in this. They seem to repeat a lot of the points that Patterson made during that live. I wonder why that live stream is down. Is it because it incriminates you? And they say proof they aren't calling you, so keep lying. You're stalking them, you're doing the same shit. They're only proving they aren't calling you, slur. They don't even know who Jay is. No, the police reports do not. This is illegal. We're calling your police and showing your live. That's interesting. We're calling your police and showing your live. Who's we? And that isn't our police. I don't know if you've been here or caught up, but we don't live in that state anymore. Which we already went over in past streams why Patterson does know who Jay is and did report us for quote-unquote doxing Jay. We've asked for evidence proving otherwise. That we've asked for proof showing us doxing someone else in the same time frame on the same day that both our live stream happened and your report happened. The reason that Patterson is so angry and trying to resort to scare tactics is because they don't want any of this shown, because they know that it points out all of their contradictions and proves us as being innocent. And that is not me saying that we are the perfect victim or that we haven't done things wrong. It is just me saying that the claims against us are not true. They say hello to jail. Thanks for the incriminating info. Thanks for admitting to stalking. No intimidation involved. It was real anger because you told people to kill themselves. You manipulated Spoon, Gaia, and many others. Stop lying, you fat piece of shit. There's a lot of just body shaming in this. I'm sorry that you feel insecure that we stream with our webcam on and that we are comfortable in our own skin. It sounds like you need to take a step back and look at yourself for a minute. Your police reports are proof of harassment, by the way. You know that your parents aren't traffickers. You aren't in danger. Lay off it. They aren't looking for your location other than for a restraining order, all because you decided to slander them, yes. You did. There's proof on your own stream, fat ass. So are you seeing kind of the similarities between things that they said on their end of their stream and the things that this person texting us is saying? Okay, phone logs. I'm going to scroll back up to here. I don't know why these are here and not in the phone logs section. So, when are these from? It doesn't have a year. What day are these from? When are those from? Oh, I know what these are. Okay. I know what these are. Yes, I would say it is. I'm not going to repeat that, but I would say it is. So this was one, I don't know. Hmm. I think this might have been when we sent in an IC3 report, and one of these steps that it said it recommended for us to do is contact our local police. I don't know what this number is, but if it's crossed out, it's not relevant. But you can see, yes, this was from this year. Okay, if I remember right, which I could be remembering completely wrong, we had made the IC3 report. And they asked us to... Did they ask us to come in? I'm not sure. I know we definitely went in because the officer who was there gave us a flash drive and told us to put everything we have on there. So we did. We copied everything over and gave it back. So I think that's what those calls were. This was when we received the phone calls, which we already played the voicemails in a previous stream. And one of those was one that our friend was able to record because we were on call with them. I think it was from this number that they got the recording. Because I remember this first number calling, we were on call with our friends during this. And We picked up and all Patterson said was, "Yeah, that's what I thought." So this was on the same day as some of those texts basically threatening us with legal action. So then they decided to call us. We didn't say anything. We just let them incriminate themselves. This number said, "Yeah, that's what I thought," and then hung up. And then a minute later, they called again, and we didn't answer until we had confirmation that one of our friends was recording, which they were. And we already played that audio recording in a previous stream. After that, we called our local police at the time, reported it. He had come over. While we were talking with him, our phone rang again. We answered it, put it on speaker, didn't say anything. The cop said, "Hello?" And the number immediately hung up. And then we got a couple other calls that night within that time span. So all of this happened give or take half an hour. Okay, the rest of the phone logs. So we only screenshot what was irrelevant. Anything redacted are things like full phone numbers, things like last names, anything else is unredacted. So this is where we went into inpatient. Yes, that was one. September 12th. Shithead, by the way, is Patterson. So you can see that on the 12th, they called once at 6 a.m. and then there were 11 calls before 9 a.m. And then this was September 14th. You can see the times line up. And they called 4 times. 3 of those times were within the span of 2 minutes. And then they called, I believe this is the next day, they called at 3 in the morning. Yes, September 15th, 2021. We got a few calls that day. We had been calling Rogers, which is an inpatient for mental health place, many times throughout this, as you can see. I don't know what exactly this number was calling for, but this was in November, 1st of November. So I'm assuming it has to do with that situation. But it is here. I do remember this day very specifically, this phone call, It was dark out. We were outside on the back patio, just asking if they had a bed available, and they did not. November. I would like it if YouTube could not pop up with random things. November 13th, we called a few more times. I genuinely don't know who this is, but we redacted the last name there. December 24th of 2021. This was our local police when we lived in Wisconsin. You can see we called a few times there. January 3rd of 2022, we called them, and then January 8th of 2022. You're free to pause at any point and read these if you wish. January 13th, January 14th we called, January 16th, and then January 18th. February 1st, this was... when was that? That might have been February 4th? February 5th, February 15th, February 17th, February 18th, and then the next time we called after that was March 17th. March 31st, April 5th, April 14th. So you can see that there are gaps, and you will see that they get longer and more spread out. April 18th, May 18th. June 2nd, June 13th. I'm assuming that this has something to do with... I know what that was. That was when we got our advocate for court. August 9th. We did have a job at this point, so we were calling out because of the stress. So if Patterson would like to argue financial damages, this is proof that the situation and the stress that they were causing was preventing us from making an income. August 21st, August 25th, August 27th, September 1st, September 7th, called out again September 5th, September 21st. This one we had gotten injured somehow. They never found anything, but we still have pain in that location sometimes. September 22nd, we called out. October 16th, October 17th, we called out. October 20th, October 30th. I don't know what date that is. It may have been the 27th. It may be from there. November 2nd, November 6th, November 7th, we called out again. November 9th, November 15th, November 17th, November 19th, we called out again. November 27th, 29th, December 1st, called out December 3rd. December 6th, we called a few times and then called trying to get into inpatient again. December 7th, December 28th, we called once. This was around the time where we were starting to call and look at lawyers for harassment cases. So you can see this is all public information. We called one in Wisconsin where we were living at the time. And then we called a few in Utah. Called out of... No, that wasn't us calling out. That was after they had fired us for attendance because we were calling out due to the stress. This was January 15th, where we called a lot of different law firms. This Willard person is going to come up a few times because that is who we spoke to the most, who gave us the most advice. And then this was January 17th. Contacted him again January 18th. And then January 25th. January 27th. I'm not sure what this would have been. We called our local police at the time, February 3rd. Again, February 11th. I don't know what this would have been. This may have been the time where we went into an intensive outpatient program. Called our local police at the time again, February 13th, February 14th, February 17th and 18th and 19th, the 21st, the 23rd, March 4th, March 7th, March 8th, and then it skips to May 22nd, and then as you can see, it skips the rest of 2024, and it also, no, it skips the rest of 2023, and then it also skips 2024 and goes straight to 2025, because we hadn't called at all between that time. So May 12th, 2025, we called. This isn't related to Patterson. and then the January 29th, 31st, and February 2nd from before. And then the recent ones was March 13th. You'll notice how this is all around the same time. This was during the stream where Patterson decided to stream watching our live stream, screaming and just being very intense and emotional. So this number called twice. This one called once. We had one from West Virginia call once. Had another number call once. This 48 number is the same as this one down here that called twice. It called 2 more times. There was a different Utah number that called once, and then the 48 number called 18 more times. 18 more times. But that covers the texts and the phone call logs. Before I do anything else, I'm going to break 5 to 10 minutes, maybe. And I will be back. I am not putting on Subway Surfers. That I will not do. So, we are finally fully done with the first stream document. Having gone through all of that, I think it's very funny that we thought we could get all of these sections done in the first stream we did. All of this took multiple streams just to get through these sections. So, again, this second doc is not done, but there are a few sections that are. We already went over Spiral, Storm, and Pro. Going over Scott today is not feasible. I'm sorry, I'm not going to put on Subway Surfers during breaks. I apologize, you're going to have to pull it up next to the stream. But going over Tucker's section, I know that there are a lot of pages in here. I don't know if you can see, but currently there are 176. Most of those are just screenshots. 90% of that is just screenshots. And Tucker's section is very, very long. It takes up most of it. It takes up how many? Yeah, that's over 130 pages is just Tucker. So that will be its own stream. I think I can go over Scott. I'll go over Scott and then end stream. And I don't know if I will stream tomorrow. We do need to take more breaks than we have been taking between these streams. Mostly to put together evidence, but also to rest our voice and just unwind. So, unfortunately, I don't have dates on these. I just have the screenshots. So, on DeviantArt, Scott commented on our commissions journal, saying, "Hey, I tried adding you on Discord just now and you straight up blocked me." We responded with, "Send me a note and we can discuss details of the commission you're wanting." I'm not sure what this was in response to, but it was to us in a comment. Says, "Okay, so it's not letting me reply to your PM. I'm trying to say I'm the newly registered user on Discord. Nathan Adron. Display name Scott Devis. My profile picture is of an adoptable I purchased from user Legendary Shade." Which I think in the Tucker section we do have that one. And the reason that we blocked that account on site, basically, was because of the timing. Because Tucker had sent a friend request 10 minutes before that. So we just instantly blocked the new account. And then Scott sent us a note saying, with the subject line being, "Feel free to add us on Discord." And the note says, "Yet you blocked me and declined my request." Our response was, "What's your username on there? We've only blocked 2 people recently, one of which had an account made today." I'm going to have to zoom in on this a lot. I'm going to have to move this over, I think. I didn't mean to move that. Lock this. I don't know why that wasn't locked before. But then he sent a note on Toy House. Same username. Same profile picture. Toy House themselves gave us a warning saying that it looked suspicious because it was from a new or unknown account. And he said, "Scott Davis from DeviantArt. Most, if not all, of my posts are getting removed, including my PMs to you. Can you add me on Discord? This is getting a little tedious. I've tried to send you at this point over 10 notes and none have sent." So let me zoom out now. That should be fine. So we finally do add him on Discord. And he says, "Thank you for helping me move the conversation to Discord. DeviantArt is bugging. Can I talk to you about a serious matter? I do also plan on commissioning you, as I don't tell lies, but I need to discuss something with you as well, preferably first." We say, "What is it in regards to?" His response was, "It is in regards to your character, Allegra." Now, we already went over our character. It may be brought up again later. She has been redesigned by one of our friends. But we don't want to hear anything about the old design being a quote-unquote copy when we showed that other design that was nearly identical, with Wish defending it, saying that nobody owns color palettes. Anyone with working eyes can see it is a stolen design. So as long as that is an argument being made that it is not stolen, we will not listen to anyone or any claims being made that the old Allegra design is stolen. Because that looks nothing alike. That looks nothing like Patterson's character, firstly. The colors are completely different. The style is completely different. It's not stolen. At most, and this is a reach, it's inspired. So while that claim is still going around, if Wish continues to say that the Moonfrost character is not stolen. As long as that is being claimed, we will not address or listen to any claims being made against Allegra. Our response is, what about her? We've made a lot of art of her. Multiple of our alters have since she was digitalized from an old sketchbook. Scott responds with, I actually used to be friends with Auntie Walker Cassie, the original designer of that Fluttercord kiddo. She has since deactivated. Our response was, ours wasn't adopted from Auntie Walker Cassie. Scott responds with, I don't want to assume, but Allegra looks a lot like that character she was selling. We respond saying Allegra is a Bonbon X Sunshowers X Discord fusion. So she's not even a Fluttercord. Scott says, I have also seen that sketch, and it's very clear it was thrown together last minute. You called the character pretty. Only after you had a falling out did you make Allegra, and only after that person provided proof with a live post that includes a timestamp in 2018 did you come out with that sketch you drew as a child. If this person is stealing your designs, how is it that they stole it, when yours was never posted first? Our response was, we never said they stole Allegra. Which is true, we never did. Scott says, okay, well, you're claiming her as your own when all she is a slightly tweaked recolor. Do you wish to keep doubling down? Our response is, this is stuff from 3 years ago. It's not relevant now, and especially not with a stranger. We don't have a Fluttercord pony. Scott responds with, I understand you have dissociative identity disorder, but you still need to take responsibility for Alter's actions. It is relevant now. Our response is, how so? Here, Scott says, you are drawing trafficking, gore, and sexual art of that character knowing it is their persona. You are making slight inspirations to their design/owned characters in general even now. I just ask why. We say, how do you know what we've drawn of Allegra? Scott says, you are both acting like this is high school because it is on your toy house. Do I need to link it? We say, and how do you know any of it is related to trafficking? Scott says, they're pretty darn public images. You got into a fit with a bunch of trafficking survivors. So this, you can probably tell that it's suspicious. And this random person that we've never heard of before, never seen before, suddenly comes into existence. New account on Toy House, new account on Discord. It was a brand new DeviantArt account as well. And they somehow know everything that Patterson has claimed. I believe Scott or Tucker, one of the two, also said that Scott is an old friend of Patterson's. We've never heard of Scott before. So then Scott says, I did not come here on behalf of your victim, nor did they send me. I came here of my own free will, seeing the situation unfold over the years and all the things you've done. I'm done being a spectator. Let's talk this out like adults before things get any uglier for you. And then he says, yeah, hi, I was debating on whether or not I should send you this message or not, as I am 100% sure you will take it as evidence purposeful, violent deadnaming is harassing us, but it needs to be said. You do not own Allegra. It is a blatant, repulsive ripoff of somebody else's Stona. I have been friends with your abuser since we were 12 to 13. So Scott himself admits that. We've never heard of a Scott before this. We grew up together. I was there when he first bought that Fluttercord kid that he named Lilith. He auto-bought it from a now inactive user who was known by Auntie Walker Cassie, and was literally there the day he bought that character. He was so happy over it. So if you continue to go down the route of doubling down, I assure you that the consequences will only become worse for you. That isn't a threat, so please don't misunderstand me and claim it is. I'm stating a fact. And the fact is, you're going to just keep digging yourself a bigger hole in legal troubles. Are you noticing some similar phrasing? This is not me saying that Scott is Patterson. I'm not even saying that Scott might be Patterson. I'm just saying that the similarities. There are a lot of similarities, and it's very odd that suddenly all of these people who are supposedly longtime friends of Patterson, who we've never heard of before, are suddenly popping up and contacting us. Although I heavily dislike you and your actions are nothing short of abusive, I'm willing to talk things out with you like adults instead of acting like we're in high school spreading rumors and shit. I can even offer you money to stop doubling down at least on the claims of Allegra being your design. Bribery. Are you really going to stoop so low as to steal someone else's work? We all know you've stolen from your victim multiple times, but you've also been straight up stealing from other people. I have contact with Cassie, and you can easily be exposed with or without her word. This is sociopathic behavior, and you need to get therapy for it. Only you can decide if you want help for your actions. Two wrongs don't make a right, so please talk this out with me like an adult. And we responded with, please do not contact us again. We're here to live our lives, not get into petty arguments with strangers online. Have a good day. And after that, we blocked Scott, and Scott proceeded to delete all of his messages in the DM. So it looks like we are just talking to ourselves. And then Arachnid, which will be spoken about later. That is going to be another large section like Tucker. So that in itself will probably be its own stream. So Arachnid Witch on the 17th of January 2025 says, hi, I moved accounts on DeviantArt because of an art thief. We asked what happened, and they responded with, someone PM'd me and said stop supporting thieves. I think they were named Scott. I don't know, so I swapped accounts. There is also this. Which was sent to a friend of ours. On Toy House. So it says, I have undeniable proof that Magic Clan straight up ripped off the design from someone who used to go by the user Auntie Walker Cassie. If you are interested in knowing, let me know. If not, you clearly have a problem. So that is on Scott. And I don't have any other smaller sections that I could go over right now. So I am definitely going to end stream here, but we may take a longer break. We did try to contact Twitch about an appeal because the only personal information we shared was our own. They didn't give specifics as to what personal information was shared that broke their guidelines. If we're sharing our own information willingly, that doesn't break guidelines. But they said that they can't help us, so we still don't know what was shared that should not have been shared. But it's fine. We'll just stick to other things on Twitch. We will be speaking about things that have happened to us on Twitch still. So don't take this as us being quiet about it. Don't take it as us being quiet about it. But we do need to take a longer break to wind down. We have some things that we need to process trauma-wise. And we need to go through and sort out more things for these types of streams. So I don't know how long it will be before we stream again. I'm hoping at the longest we will be back next week. So thank you everyone for watching. Go take care of yourselves. Again, do not attack or harass or seek out anyone. That was in the disclaimer that was read out at the beginning and is in the description. If you have questions and need clarification, if you ask and are not malicious about it, we will respond. If it is something we have covered already, we will direct you to where we have covered it. Have a good day.